The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2024 summer edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my good friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk to the business owners, CFOs, CEOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You're going to hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, and you can see us on YouTube along with all the legacy shows that are there as well. Those segments of people.
That's another word for old.
Yes, the older show.
It's older.
And where Steve, and it's odd because the older the show, the younger you look. How's that for a metaphysical paradox?
I could say something there. Yeah. The older shows you were carrying more weight.
Well, you look
better. Wait a minute, that's not fair. You're looking better, and I'm not. I don't know exactly what that is.
I've gained another 20 pounds. It's crazy. You go off just a little bit.
You did not
from the diet. Yeah, I feel it. I don't know if I look it, but yeah. No,
but you've been lifting, so you could put a piano over your head. And
last couple weeks though, got busy with things, and I haven't been to the gym, and then it's so easy to fall off. Woof.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. Well, I really admire people who stay consistent.
You admire people?
Yeah, well, I do, yes. Well, everybody's better than me. It's very easy to admire people when everybody's better than you.
Oh, my gosh. So there's the statement my mom used to say years and years ago, on and on, when the fair ends, summer's over. Just people think they're going to do more, and they think that it's over. You know what?
Yeah,
the old woman's right. It is. You start to put the things away.
Yeah,
it might as well be snowing.
I disliked that the most when I was a boater. And for years we boated, and it was after Labor Day. Everybody just put the boat away. It's summer. It's
correct.
Like, why does it have to be? Because there's a lot of great boating and fun and stuff you can have all the way up into October.
Yeah, no, I
don't know why we shut down up here. I don't know why.
We do.
Well, we're not going to shut down today. We're going to muscle through and have a great show. Jennifer Covert will be up first. She's the executive director of Meals on Wheels of Eastern Onondaga County. Jerome Snyder stops by. He's going to talk pests and bugs and how to get rid of them and manage them. He'll be next. And then Ruth Ann Raposa is now the executive director of Circare, or Circare. It's like circle, only care.
If you say so.
Instead of a cool. Okay, Samantha Hussein is coming by too. She's the owner of Purple Dubai, and Randy Wolkin is the president and CEO of MACNY, Manufacturers Alliance of New York. Mike Johnson, owner of Pro Snow and developer and installer of My Patio, will be by. Yeah, right. He's going to bring a 12-year-old boy with him, and that boy's name is Zachary Heck, who owns Grass and Granite Landscape and's got an interesting story and somehow connected with Mike. So we're going to talk to him. And then John Kupperman, owner of Smith Restaurant Supply, and Scott McClurg is the founder and co-owner of McClurg Remodeling. All on the Local Show today, but we start with Jennifer Covert. How are you, Jennifer?
I am great. I don't think I've ever been first, ever.
No, well, you're always first in our mind.
Oh, I knew you were going to say something funny like that.
I was going to go the other way. That's okay. We usually like to lead off with a real strong guess, but we couldn't get one, so we got her. But I didn't do that.
Sloppy seconds.
Fair.
That's me.
Now, Jennifer, you've been in this type of a role for a while.
About 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Nonprofit, I guess I was going to say, in the nonprofit world.
Been more.
Yeah, even more.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your past and how you got to this position.
Well, I started off in the Arkansas area when I moved there for a couple of years, and I'm not going to even get started with that because we could talk all day. But it's a place, let me tell you. But when I was there, I wasn't working, so I was trying to find something to do, and I had a passion for another organization, and I got involved, and I quickly became, the executive director there, and it started my path.
Of Arkansas?
Yes, of the whole state.
Okay.
It was actually the Autism Association.
Okay. Is it in the Panhandle?
No, it was Northeast Arkansas. There wasn't a lot to do there, but
Do they have tornadoes in Arkansas?
they do.
Oh,
They
crap.
certainly do. They also have brown recluse spiders. So
Oh,
I'm just
my
going to leave
gosh.
that with you, and as the reason as to why I moved back.
Yeah,
to
no
New York.
kidding. Yeah, that's like Australia.
So you moved back to the frozen New York.
Okay.
Yes, I have a appreciation for New York now. Trust me.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's where I started with a nonprofit, and I loved it. So I stayed with it. When I came back, I couldn't find anything in that same realm, but I saw an ad for Meals on Wheels, and I was like, I can advocate for older people, and I like older people better than kids sometimes, so we can do this.
Right.
And that was about 8 years ago, and I'm still doing it, and I'm still loving it. I can't imagine doing anything else.
Is every day like an episode of The Golden Girls with you, or what?
Not necessarily. It's really interesting to be around older people because they're so interesting. They
Yeah.
always have a story. They always have something to talk about. And then I always have something to talk about when I go home. So I love it.
That's why I like hanging with Steve.
Right.
I was waiting
You must
for
have
that.
tons of stories over here.
So Eastern Meals on Wheels of Eastern Onondaga County. What territory is that?
I knew
What's
you
your
were going to
space?
ask me that today.
Yes.
Well, it's Eastern Onondaga County. Let's leave it at that. No. So it's East Syracuse and Manlius and Fayetteville, Minoa, Fabius, but we even go out to Lafayette and Pompey, Tully. So we're kind of in the rural
all the
areas
hoity-toity
too.
sections.
Yeah.
So you don't cross the Madison County line?
No, stay right in Onondaga County.
Can't do that. Okay.
Well, we're not allowed. But if we were bigger, we definitely would want to serve more people because there are people in other counties that don't have Meals on Wheels agencies in their area. So we would love to do that someday. That's a good goal.
In case someone's been living in a cave, tell people what Meals on Wheels actually does.
So we deliver very nutritious and delicious meals to homebound folks in our county. So these are people who aren't able to get out, aren't able to make their own food. And we not only deliver the food, but we also deliver a wellness check. So we're checking up on your relatives. We're making sure they're okay. We're a friendly face every day when we go there. So it's even more than food, delivering food. It's a lot more than that.
Do you have to have special training to be able to check up on people, or is it just a natural common sense and logic check-in?
You don't really need special training. I mean, we do an orientation, but our volunteers, we do a background check to make sure that, they're safe to go in the homes of seniors, but they just need to be friendly and, be able to drive to their house and deliver the food. And there's a lot of great people out there that come out and do that. So we're lucky.
Who is eligible for Meals on Wheels?
Well, anyone's eligible. I mean, if Steve tomorrow said, I'm done cooking and my wife's done cooking, so can somebody send me some meals?
Yeah.
We could do that. He'd have to pay for it, but that's okay because it's very inexpensive. But if you want to qualify for a county program where you get other services, you have to be 60 or older and not be able to make your own food and not have anybody else who can make your own food.
Or if you just don't like making your own food.
Then you order Meals on Wheels. We'll come to your house with a friendly face and give you food.
But really, in like your situation with his wife who's had back surgery and everything, she's incapable of doing that stuff.
Yep.
You're Steve. So, I mean, you might be able to take advantage of something like that, at least in the short term,
Yeah,
right?
you can do it temporary. I mean, it really, there's not a whole lot of rules. I mean, it's $10 a day for 2 meals,
Oh,
and
golly,
they're
yeah.
made that day fresh, and you can't go to the store and get that. So
Right.
Is
if you-
amazing. So people can get involved. 463-5446. Is that a correct phone number?
I think it's 637.
What did I just say?
I think you said 463. I'm not sure where that came from.
637.
I did. It's right here on the sheet. This is why Tom doesn't let me read numbers. So if you call that other number, apologize and
Yes,
tell them,
so
ask
sorry.
them to donate. 637
Got it.
5446. That was a
Yes.
quiz,
All
just to
right.
make sure you know.
Big pasta dinner fundraiser coming up September 12th.
Yes.
Okay?
So excited about that.
Right. $10. It's a fundraiser, and that'll be happening over at the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church.
Yes,
so
we're
they
right
can see
in
that
there.
on your
Okay.
website, right?
And the website is?
Yes, it is moweoc.com.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Next up, we're going to talk with Jerome Snyder. He's the owner of Pestmaster Services right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back again with the almost fall edition of The Local Show.
Oh, Tom, it's just leave
by.
summer alone. Just let it percolate.
Yeah.
Let's squeeze as much as we can of it. I know that,
Out of that
we're going to
berry.
get into those cool mornings and the hot days and the whole state fair weather. It all
Right.
changes. And last weekend of the fair.
Hopefully we won't have a Labor Day storm.
No,
I don't need that. That was a
no.
pain in the butt.
That was 50 years ago, Tom. You're dating yourself.
Although my generator's running just fine. I used it. We were out of power, I don't know, several weeks ago. And it was great to just go out there, just click that button, and bam!
Really? What did it power? Because it's a generator. You can't power everything.
No. But I have also a battery that I bought on Amazon that charges up, and that has AC power and everything like that.
So your freezer and your...
Oh, yeah, I was able to do... we got two refrigerators, one in the garage and one in the house, so it was powering those and a couple of lamps, and yeah, I was fine. And my internet. Is
it loud?
Well, yeah, because it's a
not
motor.
in the garage, because you have to have it outside.
Yeah, I like to sit in my closet with it and shut the door.
So it sits around the side of the house by the garage there?
Yeah, just by the garage.
Okay.
And it just
you.
hums away. And
I'll know where
like
to
that.
go and lose power. Just go to Tom's place.
Well, my buddy, Greg, down the road, he bought a bunch of batteries from...
He built a bunker, didn't he?
He's got all these huge batteries, and there's no noise there. So there's so many ways you can do this, nowadays. We have all this new tech. Anyway, it's good to bring Jerome Snyder back. He's got the latest tech and a lot of natural stuff.
What's good about it, Tom?
He's the owner of Pestmaster Services, and he's able to get rid of your pests and unwanted guests. How are you there, Jerome?
Like a dream come true, Tom.
I know. You are like a dream come true. You did a great job on my house. Got rid of a bunch of birds that were in my vent that went into the stove, and he was able to get rid of the birds.
Went into the stove?
Well, it was in the stove vent.
Okay.
Got rid of all those. You know what happened to me the other day? And you had talked about ground bees before. And I thought, well, it's just Jerome and, there's no ground bees. He's just trying to scare me. Well, I was mowing and, boy, one bit me. One stung me, and I reached down and swooted away, swatted at it and everything. And then another one was on my other ankle, and then another one and another one. I got bit 3 times.
So was it a scene like the scene from Tommy Boys?
Yes, it was. The bees,
run for your life! It was really, you got hit several times.
Several times. I got stung several times, and it still itches, and it's been weeks.
How did I not hear about this? Is typically I would hear you cry about
and
this.
And they were tiny. Now, is a ground bee a honeybee?
They're not a honeybee. There are some bumblebees that are in the ground, but what you likely hit was like a yellow jacket nest. So it's more of a wasp than a bee.
Oh, was it? But they were tiny.
Yeah, they're more of like a yellow jacket wasp type species.
I got bit, Tom, stung. But they don't actually, they're not taking a bite out of you. Right.
Yeah, I got stung.
We were up in Oswego, and this was before Judy had her surgery. We were just sitting there watching the water, and we bring the dog there.
Yeah.
And we're sitting on a bench next to a bench, and bang, hits me in the hand. What the heck?
Wow.
And it really hurt.
Yeah.
For about 15 minutes, and then it calmed down and everything. But I never saw it. But I didn't provoke it like I normally would, right?
Well, you provoked me. That's for darn sure. So are bees prevalent this year, Jerome? Have you had a lot of problems with bees and wood-boring bees?
So the stinging insects, they usually kick up. They're around all summer. People don't really start noticing them until the end of July, August, big time, September for sure, and then they kind of wane out in October. They're there, but people don't normally see them. They're not bothered by them until August and September, and then into October they're kind of
Do they get more aggressive? Is that why?
Yeah. So as the season goes, they they're focused on building the nest and building the brood and getting everything going, and they get bigger and bigger.
Wow.
They actually morph into a larger creature, the yellow jackets do, as the season goes on.
Yeah.
And they're out there, and you
got to be careful.
Yeah.
They get lazy, and it's they're slow moving, but they'll just land on your hand and sting you for no reason, it seems.
Yeah, they love you.
Yeah,
no, that's what this landed, and there was no provoking.
Yeah.
Right. So what else do you take care of as the season wanes, and what do we
this
get
time
into?
of year, we've just been kind of waiting to start our bad. So we have a list of people who have some bad problems in their house. And there's a time where we can't do that. We don't really do it after mid-May, and then we don't really start back up until the end of August.
Is that because you're busy, or is it a legal thing, or is
No,
is there
so
a
it's
timing?
a conservation thing for sure. So they the babies are born at the end of May, and they're not vulnerable. They don't fly. So if you try to evict them out, you put a one-way door, and the mama can go out, she can't get back in, then they're going to either die inside or they're going to try to seek into the habitable space. So we leave them be. We let them fly in June and July is kind of the words we use.
Oh, really?
Let them fly in June and July. And then I don't jump right in August. We'll do a little bit just to do some, just to kind of, if it's a health hazard issue, that obviously takes priority. But we get September and October is when we kind of do our bat work, and then we start again in April and May.
Is that under the wildlife? Because you have a wildlife.
It's wildlife.
Explain to the difference between killing bugs and killing wildlife,
So
or
there's two
moving wildlife,
licenses.
or whatever you do.
Yeah, there's a lot of licenses. Everything I do is regulated by the DEC, the Department of Environmental Conservation. That's our state regulatory agency. So at Pestmaster, we try to be broad spectrum. We want to do a lot of different things. We want to be your, answer to all your pest control stuff. So we start out with a 7A is, applying pesticides to your house. Then we have 7F, which is applying it in your commercial kitchen, whether it be at some of the hospitals we service, or some of the restaurants we service, or some of the food processor places we service. Then we get 3A is without in your yard to do the mosquitoes and the fleas and ticks, turf and ornamental. And then we have a category for doing forestry work, because there's a lot of invasive species that are coming into the timber industry across the state, and we want to do some work with that. And then on the other end is nuisance wildlife, so that gives me authorization to transport a wild animal. So,
Like a woodchuck?
like a woodchuck, that's right. So if, a lot of people, I caught the squirrel or the chipmunk and I put it in a safe, have a heart box, and I took it and I released it out in the park. Well, that's illegal to do, and we don't want to do that. And so transporting that wild animal, you can get in trouble for that, and releasing it on a place that you don't have permission from the landowner is also against the law. And there's reasons behind that. It's because you don't want to spread diseases. So if you're over in Clay or Cicero.
I'm in Cicero, yeah.
If you're over in Cicero and you have some animal and it's got some disease that all the animals in Cicero have, and then you take it, out to another place, another county, and you release it now, it might be taking some of those diseases that they don't have immunity.
So it's actually, it makes sense. It
It's
isn't just a
public
law.
health.
It actually makes sense.
Yeah, it's a public health. It's a public health job.
Is it too late to eradicate stink bugs?
We're right in the window now. The end of August into mid-September is when we're putting a product around your soffits, your windows.
Do you get it on the
your
windows?
screens. We don't get it on the windows.
Explain that for a second.
So when you're applying product, 2 stories up, you have to make sure that, one of the complaints I get is, you're going to get it on my windows. The other company gets it on my windows, the other company gets it on windows. And so we have a special tool we use that we can actually put a good application around the trim of the window, so that as the insects land on it and they try to get inside to the warmth, then they get exposed to the product. So we take great pride in not getting it on the windows.
Gotcha.
But right now it's the season time for the stink bugs. We want to get the product in the house now, because the ones you see in January, February on those warm days, those are the ones that came in.
Can you get ahead of the mice, or do you just got to wait for them to do their thing?
Having a program out there where we're doing exclusion work, and maybe we have some product out if you need it. We're inspecting for sure to see if you have mice. Like, why would I put a product if you don't have mice? But mice are a year-round thing. They're a year-round thing.
All right. So, Jerome,
Okay.
I know this is the time of year. 546-6067. Is that an okay number?
That's my direct number. The office number is 315-598-4046.
598-4046. Central New York .pestmaster.com. And if you want to wonder about this guy, check out your reviews. For some reason, Jerome, people like you. I don't know. What's the deal with that?
I don't know.
You do a good job, and you take care of my mom. So there's a big endorsement.
All right. Thank you very much, Jerome. Have a great rest of the day.
You're welcome.
All right. Ruth Ann Raposa is coming up next, Executive Director of Circare, here on the local show on 570 WSYR. Don't go away.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it again. You've got the local show right here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM. You can see the show on the YouTube channel and look at all the old ones too, which gives you a good idea of all the different types of people we talked about who have all different kinds of businesses, including some civic organizations and nonprofits and things like that. Right now, Steve, we're going to talk with Ruth Ann Raposa. Do you know Ruth?
I do know her.
Okay, good.
I would consider her a friend.
And she still came in.
I know.
Right. Ruth Ann Raposa is the interim executive director at Circare. It's like Circle, only not.
Okay.
Care.
Yeah, Sir. And the Sir is CIR.
That's right.
.care. Okay. Ruth Ann, how are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here again, and it's good to see you guys. Circare, actually, most people know us by our former name, which is Onondaga Case Management.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes, that's exactly what you both just did.
Yeah.
That is exactly. I was in a meeting earlier this week, and we're talking, and all of a sudden, one of the directors goes, just so you know, we were formerly, we're Onondaga Case. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and then all the dots connect. So I wanted to start this conversation off with just connecting that dot.
So they had some big meeting, decide to change the name just to confuse everybody?
Sometimes organizations do that.
Sometimes that happens. Yeah.
What's your personal background, Ruth Ann?
Oh, goodness. So personal background is born and raised in Syracuse, spent some time in Buffalo going to school.
Well, what high school did you go to here then?
Oh, well, I went to Nottingham for a little bit and then Faith Heritage.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
We know them both.
Yeah. But I'm here now, and I've worked for profit, not-for-profit, for government for a little bit, and now I'm here as the interim executive director at Circare.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So, okay, now tell us, what does Circare do?
All right. So Circare has been around for decades, really a pillar in the community here. Circare is really able to provide services to people on this spectrum. And what I really enjoy about really getting in to the programs that we provide is that we're able to, it's so cliche, meet people where they're at, right? You hear that all the time.
Yeah.
And we're able to. We have really unique contracts with Onondaga County where we're able to really meet people where they're at with any type of mental health issues or concerns that they're having. We are able to work with children and youth all the way through adults, being able to provide intervention right in people's homes. Let's say there's a child that's really struggling and the parent's looking for help and assistance. We can send an interventionist into their home multiple times a week to work with that family and help that youth. We're working with some of the most severely and persistently mentally ill youth and adults via our ACT programs.
So the county hires you guys?
Yeah, we have.
Have I got that?
Yep.
A
lot of our programs are county contracts. So what we're really known for is our ability to provide services in a way that, most of the time, right? If you have a health or a mental health issue, you're going to a provider, right? And you're getting seen by a provider at a doctor's office, and you're getting treatment there at an office.
And if you don't have insurance, of course, you can't do that.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
So we're able to provide services to children and youth where we're sending professionals and providers into their community, into their home. We're able to go into a home and be able to assess and evaluate a child, to prescribe meds and to give medication in their home. We're able to do the same thing for adults. We have adults right now that have all different needs. We're able to sometimes go to the homeless shelter or to the park where they frequent and be able to find them and do our meeting with them and be able to prescribe them and give them a potential injectable to help treat their mental health diagnosis, right?
Wow.
So we're truly able to do things a little bit differently and outside the box, all the way through, helping people become stable and live their best lives, all the way through and including gainful employment, helping people get gainful employment.
Do people know that you're there? Are there any aha moments, or are people
So
faced
people
with
really recognize us for a few of our programs. Again, we've been a provider of certain services for a long time in this community, so they recognize that. But I think that there's some services that we offer and provide that not everybody is aware of. We have really strong care management services for both children and for adults. What we have, I think, at Circare that we do very uniquely is specialty care management, where we're able to work forensic care management with people coming right out of, whether it be the Justice Center or Correction, Jamesville here in Onondaga County, or coming out of a state facility, or people coming out of hospitalizations. We're able to work with people. Let's say somebody is not so safe when they're not on medication. Sometimes there's what's called a AOT, assisted outpatient treatment, court order, for them to be compliant with medication.
Okay.
We're able to do their care management and work with them very, very closely to make sure that they're safe.
So people, individuals that have maybe some criminal activity, I don't know how else to say it. They have some legal challenges. That's what I was trying to say. A lot of folks in that space have some mental health issues.
Correct.
Is that a fair statement? I'm not trying to
Correct.
label, but the things come with.
Yes.
There's a cause and effect sometimes.
Correct.
So if they go and are coming out of a facility and they are just thrown into the streets, the chance of circling around is fairly high, I would imagine.
The recidivism rate is high.
Recidivism.
Yes,
that was the
that's
word I was trying to find, Tom.
I got you. I knew it. Yes, that's correct. And so that's why there's often referrals for people coming, like, anticipating a discharge from a correctional facility or from a hospital, and there is a referral to us. And we understand how important it is for us to quickly sometimes meet the person when they're being discharged from a hospital or discharged from a correctional facility.
Hi, we're here. Take your
Truly.
medicine. I mean, that's a challenge.
Yes, but that's what we do.
Okay. How many?
That's what we do.
How big a team do you have?
We have about total in the agency about 85 to 90 employees, and our care management, our adult care management, specialty care management, and typical care management services is our largest department. But we've got about 85 employees agency-wide, and truly special place to work. There's a real heartbeat there for providing services to people and meeting their needs in a little bit different way. We're able to do that.
Is it a nonprofit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Onondaga County has been amazing.
Yeah.
Our contracts with them and the support that we get from our county officials here has been just truly fantastic. So we're very blessed to be able to do
Do you
things.
look for volunteers, or is this a highly specialized?
It is
type
more
of place?
specialized. Yeah, we don't have space right now for necessarily volunteers, but we have partnered with local academia. I just signed an agreement this week with Lemoyne, being
great.
able to take interns, to all different levels of interns. So we actually this past week actually just transitioned an intern to an employee. So that's cool. It's always great when that happens, right?
Do you have events, like awareness events or anything
We
like that?
participate in a lot of events. We don't host any of our own currently, but we participate in a host of events throughout the community to really, get our name out there, get our services out there. We recently just did a partnership with Syracuse Community Health for our most medically frail. Obviously, sometimes when people are struggling to take care of their mental health needs and follow through with their mental health treatment, they're also struggling as well with their physical health and treatment.
Sure.
So we've got a wonderful partnership right now with Syracuse Community Health to really be able to streamline the care when it.
Do you ever do any work with In My Father's Kitchen in John Tomino?
So that is actually something that I want to coordinate. I haven't yet, but I think that is exactly what we were looking to with this relationship with Syracuse Community Health, being able to really have a streamlined, fast response when we identify someone has a medical issue. We do the mental health side, and we do that well, but we want to make sure that we're caring for the whole person and having the answer. And Syracuse Community Health has come through with that answer for us right now.
Right. Biggest challenges right now?
We have two departments right now that we're looking to finish up. We have a new program, our Youth Act program. We're looking to get that fully staffed so we can get a full capacity there. So getting mental health professionals in that really want to work with
Are
kids.
those positions on the website?
They're on the website, cir.care, CIR.CARE.
You knew where I was going.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was going.
That's very good. Ruth Ann Raposa right there. Thank you so much for being here and for all that you do with your people and stuff in the community.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Samantha Hussein is coming up next. She's the owner of Purple Dubai. We'll find out what her company does right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back to the local show. You found it, the last bastion of happiness and fun, right here on the radio with Tom and Steve.
Oh my gosh! Now the summer's over. No, it's not.
No, it's not. We introduce people to new businesses, Steve, and that's what we're going to do right here. We're going to introduce them to a new business. But first, you didn't talk about Safe Harbor Wills and Trust yet, and I love it when you do that.
I forgot.
Because I like to take a snooze back here while you start talking.
All right, Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. Been a friend of the show for a long time, and certainly a client of Zoey Advertising for 11 years, 12 years. If you haven't updated your will, update your will. If you haven't made a trust to protect your house, Tom, you and I aren't getting any older. Nursing homes gobble houses away every day.
We're not getting any younger. We're getting older.
We're not getting any older. Yes, we are. We're getting older. That's why you're the professional. So if you haven't done it, talk to the folks over at Safe Harbor. Every day, people are reaching out to them.
Yes.
Putting their things in order, even though they might live another 50 years. Get your act together. 370-9977. 370-9977, or go to safeharborwillsandtrust.com and send them a flare and they will help you out.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Now it's our pleasure to bring on a new person to the show, Samantha Hussein, who is the owner of Purple Dubai. How are you, Samantha?
I'm good. Tom, how are you doing?
Very good. Thank you for joining us. We'll make this as painless as possible, even though I know Steve can be rather intimidating.
Come on.
With the height and the hands and the, and the loud voice. Anyway, Samantha, where are you from originally?
So I am actually originally from Pakistan, but I was born and raised in Dubai. I've been there all my life.
Okay.
And I have just recently moved to the U.S.
Oh, wow. Is this your first time being in the U.S.?
Yes.
Oh, golly. Geez, that's got to be a real...
I've been here on a holiday, but yes.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've moved in permanently.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I want people to really understand about your business and have kind of a history, because there might be people like me who are not world travelers, because I hate to fly. I
get it.
I've flown domestically several times. Now, my wife was born in England, so she has no problem going over to England, and her father's from Dublin, Ireland, so they'll go over to Ireland. But me, no, I'm kind of homebound. But anyway, so where is Dubai, and why would people want to go there?
So Dubai is in the Middle East, and it has one of the biggest, longest tower out there.
Oh, really?
It has the 7-star hotel, and it's
7 stars.
Yes.
I've only heard of 5-star hotels.
Yes.
That's pretty nice.
Yes. So, I mean, it's a place, it's a destination where whoever I speak to, they want to go there, they want to visit the place. And yes, definitely, why not? You must go, you must see.
Yeah.
We've been there all our life. We've seen the whole country transform.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to do there.
It seems to me that in recent years, a lot of stars and big athletes and famous people go to Dubai. They always talk about having a house in Dubai. Is that a thing?
Well, it's a beautiful place.
It is. Yes, a lot of people prefer to settle there because it's very central. I know a lot of Bollywood stars who go and settle there.
Right.
There you go. Yeah.
You have people from Pakistan. Of course, Dubai has freehold properties now, which had started, let's say, less than 2 decades ago. They started selling housing.
Oh, I see.
It's a sweet spot to go and settle, to buy a house.
Yeah.
So you have a passion to connect people to visit there. So you started, like, I'll call it a travel agency for the lack of a better term. So you want to help people travel to this amazing, beautiful place.
Yes, I want. When I met a lot of people out here, especially in Syracuse, and they came to know that I was from Dubai, the first thing that came on their mind was that it's too expensive.
Yeah.
And many people didn't even know how to even start or where to begin from if they ever want to visit this place. And here I am. I want to give them a little bit of a hand-holding kind of a thing where I can micromanage a little bit of their trip. They don't just have to go through a general tourist company.
Right.
But if they go through us, we can just tell them, not just to visit just ABC, these places, but also, see, other than the Burj Al Arab, there's a lot more to do. They could go and see the old Dubai. We can tell them where to go and have probably the best biryani, or the best Pakistani chicken curry.
Right.
Okay, you have me at that. So I'm a fan.
Yes, where they should probably book their hotel.
Yeah.
Give them the best value for money for this trip.
Yeah, because when you go online, and Dubai is in a very safe part of the Middle East.
Yes, it is.
What is it surrounded by? What countries are surrounding Dubai?
So you have Iran, you have Lebanon, Saudi Arabia. You have all these GCC countries. It is in the Middle East, pretty much close to Qatar.
Okay.
Bahrain.
Yep.
Yes.
I had a son who was in Qatar for a while. Was stationed there, so I'm familiar with Qatar.
Yeah, it's very close to Dubai.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's when you go online and look, holy smokes, it's absolutely beautiful.
It is. It's amazing. I mean, if you just stand at the Burj Khalifa and you look at it, I think it has about 130 plus floors.
Wow.
It has high-rise buildings. I mean, my son, he was just 8 when he moved from Dubai, and he still remembers so much.
Yeah.
He's still so fascinated with all the architecture.
Yeah, it makes New York City look like Brewerton, Tom.
Yeah,
you should see that. It really is beautiful.
It's very high tech. It's a high tech, very modern city.
And I went on and looked because I'm curious at like what hotel rooms cost. They were not expensive at all. I was like, I must be putting it wrong.
So see, that's the perception. People think it's very expensive. Well, you could end up into a very luxurious kind of a trip if you are looking to, go for something like that. You could live even in a 7-star.
Yeah, sure.
But the 2 and the 3-star hotels are as good as the 4-star hotels that we have out here, and they are less expensive.
Yeah, and there's beaches.
Absolutely. Yes, there are beaches as well.
Yeah, I would imagine the climate's very warm.
And it's warm. It's hot.
Yeah.
Yes, it does get very hot.
Most of the time.
Depending on the time of the year, but typically Dubai is a hot city.
So what I heard you say is you want to share your experience, your living, your knowledge, your passion for that area, and be able to make people want to travel there and not just go on Expedia or somewhere and I'm going to book a hotel, but you connect all the dots so when they go, they feel like they're going with their sister or a cousin or somebody that can help them. Is that fair?
Absolutely. That's exactly what we want to do. We just don't want to tell them, just go and see the Burj Khalifa, go see the Burj Al Arab, and maybe go for a Dow cruise, and that's it. No, there is a lot more you could do. And that's where we come in place, and we tell you where you should maybe take a taxi from, or maybe you could hire a car, or maybe eventually we have this long-term plan where we would have our personal assistant there who would drive our clients, and that is something in our bucket list.
Yeah.
We still want to use travel agents. Judy's like, can we use a travel agent? And I go, they're hard to find. So, but go to a beautiful place, beautiful beaches. I saw those, and it's a trip you can afford. Maybe you've gone to the Caribbean. Well, why not try this? PurpleDubai.com.
Yes.
And Dubai is D-U-B-A-I, in case anybody was tripping and got it wrong like I did the first time.
Right.
And thank you so much for coming, Samantha.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Steve. It was lovely meeting you. And thank you for having me on your show.
You got it. All right. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have engaging conversations with Randy Wolkin. He's the president and CEO of MACNY, the Manufacturers Alliance of New York. And then Michael Johnson, owner of Pro Snow Removal, will bring a guest with him. And his name is Zachary Heck. He's a 12-year-old entrepreneur who owns Grass and Granite Landscaping. John Kupperman will stop by. He's the owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. And then we'll wrap things up with Scott McClurg, who is the founder and co-owner of McClurg Remodeling. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in and welcome back. This is hour number 2 of the local show. Get ready for riveting interviews with Randy Wilkin, President and CEO of MACNY. And then we're going to talk with Michael Johnson, who is the owner of Pro Snow Removal. He'll bring a friend, Zachary Heck, who's a 12-year-old entrepreneur. We'll find out what that relationship's all about. And then John Kupperman stops by. He's the owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. And we'll wrap things up with Scott McClurg, who is the founder and co-owner of McClurg Remodeling. Randy Wilkin, thanks for coming. We love having you.
Thanks for having me in again.
Yeah. So, Randy, for those people who don't know, give a little bit of your background and then how you became president and CEO of MACNY. All that.
Okay, well, I've been doing it for 23 years, so
I
I think way back.
Yeah.
When I started when I was 12. I'll do. But this is a fantastic organization. It's over 350 companies now and growing. All the manufacturers you've heard of, both high-tech and traditional companies, are all members of ours, plus companies that serve them. So I started this, like I said, over 2 decades ago, and what's really great about it now is just how much manufacturing has grown and how critical it is now to the high-tech economy we're building here in Central New York. So that makes it really exciting. Literally hundreds of job openings, companies really excited about being in Central New York. And as we know, this is a sort of a renaissance for manufacturing. We haven't seen this in generations.
Right. So, you mentioned high tech. A lot of times, us older folks like Steve think of manufacturing.
Us,
yeah, right. Yeah. Think of manufacturing as ball bearings and sheet metal, but it's not. It is to include all the new high tech things that are happening.
Sure, it still is ball bearings and sheet metal for some companies, but the vast majority of companies are now in this advanced manufacturing, high-tech space, semiconductors, think biotechnology.
Right.
Think, next generation chemicals, plastics, all the kinds of things that are a part of our modern life now are made increasingly in this country. Mm-hmm. And so that's what's exciting about it, is the kinds of jobs are high-tech. They're jobs where you actually can go right to work. Will train you in those specialties. So great career opportunities here in the community once again. And for those who've lived here all their life, there was a time when Central New York and New York was the place to make things, and I believe that's going to be the future.
Mm-hmm. So if you are a manufacturer or a high-tech firm, do you have to be a member of MACNY?
Just say yes.
Well, of course, it should be.
Well, I'm just wondering if there's outliers out there.
Yeah, well, on occasion there are companies that don't join, but that's really rare. Most people understand that the things we do connect them to their colleagues, get them to see the high-tech manufacturing going on in the firms all around this community. The advocacy we do statewide, both the federal and state level, the specific workforce development programming we do to help them, everything from training CEOs to training their staff to really the preeminent apprenticeship programming nationally now. But throughout the state of New York, we have 1,000 apprentices under our program management, because we're the intermediary that helps companies run these programs. So increasingly, companies understand that the services we provide and the way in which they can connect to the community through us is of tremendous value. And we've been doing it for 111 years, so we know what we're doing.
Wow.
I haven't been there the whole time, but we've been doing it for 111 years.
There's a rumor.
Yeah, yes,
going around
that long.
There's a rumor. No, there's a rumor going around that Micron is coming to town. Is there any evidence, real evidence of that? Is that going to happen?
It's absolutely happening. They have already prepared. They're prepared their specific environmental requirements. The construction will start later this year into next year. Production will happen in 2028 approximately. It absolutely is happening. It's not a question of if it's going to happen. It's just a question of how it rolls out, how quickly the facility gets built, and how quickly we both staff it and it's up and running. They're building really a prototype of what they're building here in Boise as we speak, and that's sort of the test space where then from learning there they'll be doing 2 fabs here, and then ultimately we believe 4 fabs. So. Yeah, it's imminent.
How do you prepare for that?
Well, as a community, it's really hard to prepare for it. I mean, we're literally talking when full build out, 50,000 jobs. Micron alone will have 9,000 of those jobs over the next 20 years. But beyond that, all the related supply chain jobs and community jobs and quite frankly, all of the new people that will move here, a projection of at least 100,000 people moving to Onondaga County alone. So as a community, that's the hard part, is getting prepared for that kind of momentous
that influx.
investment.
I was thinking, my daughter just got her first teaching job, and
Does that mean she's moving out of the house, Tom?
No, it won't happen that fast.
Okay, just checking. Just checking.
I'm sure she'll bilk us for another year or two.
Just checking. Keep her at home.
Yeah, right. But I was thinking about the school situation because all the schools are so packed. I live up in Cicero. I'm just down the road from this whole thing, and
Your house is going to be worth a lot more, by the way.
Yes, well, we're already seeing that quite a bit, which is great. But it does present a problem. How do you prepare for medical and for schools? So two very important things. How many well cares can we have, because they're already flooded, and you have a hangnail and you wait in the room for an hour to get seen. What's going to happen with that, and what's going to happen with schools? Will we break into different districts? Are they going to build schools, more schools?
Yeah, well, they'll have to build more classrooms and space given the population growth. And that's part of the challenge, is when to do that and how to do that and how quickly to do that. And it's one of the things we've been communicating to our elected representatives and really the community, is the speed in which this is going to happen is going to require us to do things differently. To open schools in a much more quickly, to hire teachers much more quickly, to do those kinds of things that require really scaling like our community.
Oh, safety as well, right? Your police forces have to beef up.
All those things. And so that you can make your head hurt if you're trying to think about doing all those things. Luckily, I think there are community leaders, and I know the state's focused too on helping us get ready, but it will take a community to do it.
So speak to somebody that has kids or grandkids and they think, I've got to go to college for 4 or 6 years, as manufacturing as maybe you don't. Speak to that for a second.
Sure. I think what's great about this is you can choose either path. You can go right to work with a high school education, or you can go to college. And I think we need to make those paths equivalent. These Micron jobs will be half of them. 4,500 of the 9,000 over the next 20 years will be technicians. So literally we'll be running apprenticeship programs, pre-apprenticeship programs where people can, with a high school education, go right to work. We actually ran a pilot pre-apprenticeship program in the Utica area where high school women who are seniors actually can go right to work right after a 8 or 12 week course.
Is that the workforce development program, or is that something different?
No, actually, Real Life Rosie's and our A2A Advanced to Apprenticeship are pre-apprenticeship pathways, so they're 8 to 12 weeks, usually with a stipend, usually with basically some preparatory training, and then you go to right to a company. You're hired, and you actually then you're in an apprenticeship program. You literally go a year, 18 months to 4 years with stackable apprenticeships.
And you've got a great job that pays well.
Fantastic job. Most of these jobs start in 40, 50, 60s, and they go beyond that. Some of the Micron high-tech jobs will pay over 6 figures. So the reality is this high-tech future of technicians is our future in Central New York. And it's not just in the semiconductor space. Biotech, if you've heard of a company called Lotte, which used to be Bristol Myers Squibb. That company will hire hundreds of people in the biotech space. We got TTM in the national defense space. They're hiring hundreds of people. So we really are a high-tech community of the future. And now you have both pathways available, to work.
So that information, MACNY.org, if I have that right, they can so they can share it with the family and friends, and there's possibilities there.
Yeah, we have a career and talent platform on there. Please put your resume up there, look at job opportunities. Jobs are already posted that are currently open throughout the region, but there literally will be thousands of jobs coming.
Thank you, Randy.
Excellent. Always a breath of fresh air right there, Randy Wolkin. Coming up next, folks, we're going to talk with Michael Johnson. He's the owner of Pro Snow Removal, and he's going to bring a friend, Zachary Heck, who's a 12-year-old entrepreneur and owns a company called Grass and Granite Landscaping. We'll see what's going on with both of them right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
There you go. Hey, we got some, a returning guest, but then he's brought a guest. It's Mike Johnson, who's the owner of Pro Snow Removal and the author of the Tom Soccocio patio in the back.
Oh, and it's lovely.
And it is lovely. Yeah, Steve saw it for the first time. Did you know that, Mike?
No, I didn't.
I actually invited him over, which is rare.
Yeah, the steaks taste better on that patio than they used to in the backyard.
Yeah, he was really impressed with those steps and everything. And so am I. It is absolutely wonderful. Now, unfortunately, my wife had a detached retina and a couple of surgeries, so she's been enjoying being home a little bit, recuperating, But we've had a chance to really enjoy the patio this year.
Awesome.
And all the flowers you planted all came back beautifully, and everything's in bloom. It's
How's
just,
the tree?
Wonderful. The tree, which
The dying tree.
Oh, my dying tree out front. Yeah, Mike had nothing to do with that. That'll be taken care of. So, Mike Johnson, owner of Pro Snow Removal, he brings a guest today, and that guest's name is Zachary Heck, and he's a 12-year-old who owns his own business, a grass and granite landscaping. How you doing there?
I'm all right.
All right. So, you're really 12?
Well, I just turned 13
Oh,
the 25th.
well, that makes the difference. You're a man now.
There we go.
Get to work. This is not impressive. He should be working. In Italy, we got them out in the farms when they're 10, all right? So, yeah, that's great. So how did you guys meet? Tell the story.
So one Saturday I was going to my job site, and I'm just pulling into my job site. It's early in the morning, and I see this kid pushing a lawnmower down the street with a weed eater and some headphones. And as soon as I pulled in the driveway, he stopped. So I'm like, maybe he wants to see what's going on. So I said, hey, what's up? He said, hey, can I cut your grass? I said, this isn't my house. And we got to talking, and I found out, he just started this business, and here it is, early Saturday morning. He's out here pushing a lawnmower, looking for grass to cut, and told me all about his story, and I was inspired.
Wow. So, Zach, how long have you been doing landscaping?
I just started lawn mowing and all that stuff this summer.
Why'd you do it?
Yeah, why?
I don't know. I was just looking for something to do this summer. Most summers I just sit around doing nothing. So me and my friends were like, we want to make some money. We want to have something to do this summer, so we started a business.
That's very good. Now, does it run in your family? Is anyone in your family in the landscaping business?
Not in the landscaping business, but my dad, my brother, and my grandpa all have their own businesses.
Okay. What kind of businesses?
My brother has a detail business where he does mainly boats, and my dad has a automotive business, and he fixes cars and detail cars. And my grandpa had a cleaning business.
Wow.
Great. So everybody's got kind of an entrepreneurial bug in them, and you thought, well, this I see the family doing this. I think that I'll do this as well. Now, I have a business card here. It says Teens with Work Ethic. Where did I get this from? Is that your business card?
Yeah, that's my business card.
Okay, but what I don't see is your name on it.
Well, I have multiple friends that we all work together.
I see.
So I didn't put my name on it, and
okay. So it's like a coalition of people, like a group.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, Mike, why don't you give people your background real quickly of what you own, just so the people have a perspective.
I've been in business for 15 years now in a landscape business, and I'm always trying to help other people in the community. I do a lot of charitable things with other groups around town in Syracuse area. And, there was people that mentored me and helped me as I, grew up in the business. Yeah, sure. And, I didn't expect mine and Zach's friendship to blossom from what it did, but it kind of, it had a viral sense to it on social media. I posted a video. I recorded a video of Zach's interview with me. And because, that's one thing. You don't see a 12-year-old pushing a lawnmower down the street on a Saturday morning. They're sleeping in.
Yeah, you kind of were inspired by that, weren't you?
Absolutely, because here I am with multiple employees, and it was a day that my employees don't report to work, but I'm still working because I'm the owner of the business.
That's right.
Okay, and here's this kid. It's a beautiful day. He could have been doing anything else, let alone sleeping in, and he was out there just getting it, trying to make something of himself, and you don't see that anymore.
Yeah, you're not just asking mom and dad for money. You're out there earning it.
Yeah.
And it keeps you in shape and all that. So what did Mike do for you that was totally unexpected?
So one day my brother comes over and me, my brother, and my dad are just sitting on the couch, and some truck pulls up with the trailer, and I didn't even recognize the truck. I couldn't see the logo or anything.
Yeah.
And Dad's like, "What's this guy doing?" And I said, "I don't know. I think he
Maybe
wants."
he's doing the lawn.
Yeah. So he was like, "All right, well, go outside and tell that guy that you have your own business and that we're not interested." So
That's awesome.
That's great.
So I went outside, and then all of a sudden I kind of saw like my mom recording and my brother recording, and then I saw Mike, and he came up, and he was just like, "I have this toolbox for you, and I have these signs for you," and he was like, "Oh yeah, and I have a lawnmower for you," and I was just amazed.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
was your family in on it? Did they?
Yeah.
So they knew what was going on.
Yeah, I
so it
didn't
was
know.
a setup.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you actually what kind of a lawnmower is it?
It's a 0-turn.
Oh yeah, that's nice stuff.
No more pushing.
Yeah, that's
you know.
great.
But I can't take all the credit. After this video went viral,
Yeah.
some great people in the Syracuse community reached out to me and said they wanted to help Zach because they were truly inspired by the story I posted to Zach.
Right.
So Eric at White's Farm Supply hooked Zach up with a 0-turn lawnmower.
Wow.
Kim O'Brien from Speed Pro, she made Zach 50 lawn signs.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We know Kim well. Yeah, that's
Okay.
awesome.
And there's just so many awesome, kind things on social media about Zach's story, which is you don't see a lot in the news anymore. It's all negative stuff.
Right. Here's a positive story.
You know,
right.
and so and I'm still kind of shocked by the whole thing. I know Zach is, and
Yeah.
you know, it makes you feel really good as a person that
Right.
you can, you know, be kind to someone like that without even knowing who they are, you know, because that's something we're really lacking these days. And I knew right away when I spoke to Zach, he was a good kid. And
Yep.
he came from a good family, and he was well deserving of everything that was coming to his way, all because he decided to get up early that morning. You know,
Yeah.
And
So that whole stereotype, oh, young people, they don't want to work. They don't want to work.
Yeah.
You break that.
Yeah.
You shatter that because isn't that what you were responding to? Really, it's like this is different than sleeping in on a Saturday morning, right?
yeah, I have a son who's almost 9, and he's got a strong work ethic because I ride him pretty good about it.
Right.
You know, I come from an entrepreneurial background as well with my father and grandfather, just like Zach, which I just found out about today, which is awesome and kind of makes sense. Me and Zach both have big shoes to fill. Our parents and our grandparents have worked hard their whole life in an, I'd say, easier economy than what we have right now. And Zach's not being gun shy about it at all. I communicate with him every couple of days, asking him about, does he have any work on the schedule? Does he need any help? You know, trying to help him, guide him as much as I can. And I'm looking forward to what this relationship evolves to in 10 years.
So- Right. so
he
re-
could be putting me out of business.
So real quick, how big a geographic area do you cut lawns?
Just like a 2-mile radius.
Around where?
Around the East Syracuse Manoa district.
Okay, so if you're in the ESM area and you're looking for some lawn work, I have 960-3802. Is that a good number?
Yep.
So write that down. You have a young man and some young folks that have a work ethic show up. 960-3802 and ask for Zach.
All right. That sounds great. So that's Zach and Michael, and we really appreciate both of you coming on today to talk to us, okay? So you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, you as well.
Okay. John Kupperman's coming up next. He's the owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. We'll talk to him and see how business is doing with his business right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back at it again, and we're glad to have you along on this failing summer day and getting into fall.
You just do that to
Failing and falling.
knowing me that summer's over, the fair's winding down, and it's going to snow next week.
And actually, those aren't my real feelings, folks. I just say that for, drama.
You know,
for Steve.
we could do
We could like, if someone just like turns around and say, did you hear there's snow in the forecast?
Yeah, right.
And then people go, did you hear? And then suddenly there'd be this rumor there's snow in the forecast.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be true because we just made it up.
And all the liberals would be clapping because, hey, climate change, see, we told you.
We saw it. It snowed in California.
Did it?
This week, yeah.
Did it? Oh, see? There you go. Very good. That happens every once in a while over there.
Yeah.
That's got that weird terrain.
So, FYI, if you want to text the show, you have some questions, you have some thoughts, you have maybe you're sick of hearing John Copperman from Smith Restaurant, so whatever you want to share, 216-0273. We'd like to hear from you. In all seriousness, maybe there's some businesses you would like to hear or hear again. This just kind of helps us stay in touch. 216-0273. Tom, that is area code 315.
Yes.
That's the big one.
That's the big one.
216-0273. The Zoey Local Show text line.
Yeah. It's the Steve adulation line.
Oh, my gosh.
That's why he did it.
So I get hear people say, wow, why do you let Tom talk to you that way? He's actually my friend. Just don't tell anybody. There's somebody else here.
Hey, we adore
Who's this guy?
Steve. John Kupperman's with us, owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. How are you there, John?
Very fine, thanks.
You are the 171st whatever generation?
Descendant.
I'm the fifth generation, yeah.
You didn't know what you were going to say.
Okay. There you go. Fifth generation. It's a family business. Where are you located now?
3140 Erie Boulevard East in DeWitt.
And that's up across from Texas Roadhouse. Just before you get to Bridge Street, right? So the Bridge Street is way at the next
We're in
intersection.
between Thompson Road and Bridge Street.
There you go.
It's across from Heckagers, Tom.
The old
Heckagers Plaza. Wow.
There's a lot of people would recognize that, yeah.
What they do with, what's her name? Wendy Meyerson had her place over Nature Time.
It's an O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Auto Parts now. Okay. I haven't been up there in a while.
And actually, it's enormous.
Is it really?
It's their like regional distribution center.
No kidding.
Yeah, I went in to get some stuff, and I remembered when it was Goldberg's.
Oh yes, I do.
They cleaned that all out, and you look down the aisles, and the place is just cavernous.
Wow!
It's just like it took them like 10 minutes to go walk to the back, get the part I needed, and come forward.
Well, your place is no slouch. You got a nice little space you're occupying, and you have everything from coffee to pans to pots to knives.
Yeah, and we've got some new stuff in the store now.
Tell us about that.
New stuff.
Oh yeah.
What do you got for new stuff?
I went to a trade show in Atlanta about a month ago.
Oh really?
And I went shopping.
What'd you trade?
How was Atlanta?
What'd you trade for?
Like Atlanta?
We a bunch of new stuff. One of them is a company called Nordic Ware. It's a U.S. made line of bakeware. Mm-hmm. Okay, which is really hard to come by. And one of their claims to fame is that they also, when their nonstick coating is totally chemical free.
Nice.
So you got a win-win there. Suez made, no chemicals on their nonsticks. I found an item called Drink Mate. Kind of sounds funny, but it's a device that will carbonate any beverage.
Really?
Yeah, and it doesn't require any power. So if you can imagine going to a tailgate party and having your cocktails, and if you want a fizzy cocktail, you just put it in. You can make your own sodas. You can make your own seltzers.
So wait a minute. This sounds like fun. So
it is fun.
So if I have orange juice,
you can put it in there, hit the button, and it
what's
will.
it run? A CO2 cartridge or something?
It's got a CO2
so
tank
it goes, and then I've got sparkle in my orange juice.
Yep. If you want to put just like lime or fruit into it, and just with water or whatever.
Will that work with a smoothie, or is that?
It'll work with anything.
Right. That's just what I need, more gas in me.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, it is fun. And it's not crazy expensive either. It's $120.
Right.
And it'll make like 100 drinks.
And then just buy more CO2 cartridge.
Yeah.
So even if somebody wanted to take their favorite wine and make it sparkling, they could do that.
Fizzy, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
It's not heavy fizz.
Right.
But if you want to make your own sodas or beverages,
how about fizzy coffee?
Could.
All right.
They even said that you could fizz your beer, and I'm like, you're not drinking it fast enough. Right? No,
mine never goes flat.
I was like, no.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But I like that bakeware because what happens is when I start making my meatloafs and stuff like that, it'll stick to the bottom of the pan and stuff like that.
Not all their pieces are nonstick, but the stuff that they do have nonstick, it's all chemical free.
Nordic doesn't sound like a USA name though.
They're up in Minnesota.
Right. Okay. Nordic because it's Nordic Ware.
Nordic Ware. Yeah,
right.
There you go.
Nordic Ware, Minnesota. Okay.
What else did you get? What else?
I got also there's a segue here.
Okay.
It's a cocktail infusion set. So it's almost like a tea infuser, but it comes with a packet of ingredients.
Yep.
And you put it in an infuser, and then you pour in a half a bottle of alcohol.
Right.
To go
Your
with it.
Your favorite alcohol.
Yeah. And, well, according to the mix, there's margarita, daiquiri,
okay,
Bloody
gotcha.
Mary,
Yeah.
you know. And then 2 to 3 hours later, you've got an infused cocktail. And enough for about 6-7 drinks for
What's
you
an
and your
infused
friends.
cocktail?
Infused.
What he just explained.
Infused.
Infused.
It's, you know how you seep tea and it infuses the water with the flavors?
God, okay. It takes
so
time. Okay, now
it
it's-
takes time. So this is infusing the ingredients into the rum or the
Got
vodka.
it. Okay, so it creates a compound, for lack of a better
right.
term. Okay.
So there's a margarita, there's a daiquiri, there's an old fashioned, there's a Bloody Mary. Another
Very good.
fun thing.
Yeah,
you know?
that's kind of fun. Yeah.
Yep. And I got a little simple thing called a wine aerator. You replace the cork with this thing. It's like $2 each.
Right.
And as you pour the wine, it aerates the wine. And I did sample it.
How do you aerate wine? I'm not a connoisseur.
You're letting it quote unquote breathe. Sometimes when you open up a bottle of wine, it's not fully developed,
I see.
and you don't want to let it. Some people, me included, are impatient, so
Yes.
you don't want to wait an hour or so for a while it breathes. You literally, it's about the size of this cap coming off the bottle.
Yes.
You replace the
Radio
cork.
listeners, he's holding
I know,
a
I'm
water
holding
bottle,
the
water bottle cap.
And you replace the cork, and you simply pour the wine.
Okay.
And it's aerated.
I gotcha.
You know, for $2.
Do
Yeah,
everyone,
Right? I mean, so a lot of these things are really expensive for aerating wine.
Right.
$100,
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Anything on your list not going to require a 12-step program in a few months?
Yes. You know, being the restaurant supply company, we've always had textiles like basic towels and oven mitts, but nothing really nice for the home. I brought in an entire line of really nice textiles, oven mitts, aprons, towels, very good quality, but they're decorative and colorful.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I need some more oven mitts because you know what? I have the nasty habit of using the oven mitts to move the meat around. And like when I'm making the ribs, I'll stick the glove on them.
Yeah. They get pretty ratty.
They get dirty.
Yeah.
And, you know.
No,
So you gotta
it's funny. You
constantly
said
wash
oven
them.
mitts. I need some because the same issue. They get nasty and then you don't replace them because you're not thinking
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Or you try to use something else. Mistake. Don't use try to use a towel or something. No.
Yeah. So, and then we're because of all this new stuff, we're remodeling and relaying out the store.
Oh, very
So
good.
fully we'll be ready
You
to
still
go
have
after Labor Day.
You still have tons of Syracuse China things if you want to.
A little less.
Okay.
You know, a little less, but I had to make room for all this new stuff.
Okay.
So, you know,
okay.
something I had to give a little bit.
All right.
But yeah,
So it's the season. Baking season's coming, I imagine, with the fall.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Baking season never went away.
Yeah.
Okay. Barbecue season. Smith's Restaurant Supply. Again, ignore the big building that said Smith's in 50 places downtown.
Yeah,
That's
please
not
don't
where
go
it
there.
is. 3 miles
up
east.
the Erie Boulevard.
about that.
Okay. Up by Hackinger's.
The old Hackensack, yes.
There we go.
There you go. All right. Thank you so much, John Kupperman, right there, owner of Smith Restaurant Supply.
Oh, knife sharpening, Tom. Don't forget, they do knife sharpening.
Yes, we do.
They do. Wrap your knives before you go, though, okay?
Please.
Scott McClurg is coming up next. He's the founder and co-owner of McClurg Remodeling, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Well, you found it, folks. The Golden Nugget on 570 WSYR. It's called The Local Show, or otherwise known as the Steve Roberts Variety Hour.
I knew you were going to go there. You can't help yourself.
It's the Steve Show, and he even has his own text now, where you can text him personally.
Okay, yeah. Tom, you're so annoying.
It's the Steve Roberts adulation line.
Okay, the Steve Roberts adulation line
is
text line 216-0273.
Yes.
You say, how come you guys haven't talked to so-and-so? Or can you get them back? Or if you ask a question, who they were, what they are,
Right.
you can text us 216-0273. And Tom, just to be real, anytime anybody talks about the show, they're like, yeah, I hear you. Now, who's that guy with the really good voice? Right. They're never talking about me. They're always talking about you.
That's wrong. So they'll probably text you and say, hey, where are you going live? Like, are you going to eat somewhere so I can come in and get your autograph and all that?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That's what they're going to do. Hey, we have a new guest to the show. We'll see if we don't scare him away quickly. It's Scott McClurg, founder and co-owner of McClurg Remodeling. How are you there, Scott?
Good morning, good afternoon, and I really appreciate you guys inviting me here.
Oh, well, it's, not often that we have real high-quality people like you on.
Well, thanks for the attaboy. Thank you very, very much.
And I got to be honest, that is what I think about when I think about McClurg, is the high quality of work that you do. If you want somebody to come in and remodel your home and you want it perfect, you call you guys. And that's been a reputation for a long time. How long have you been doing it?
46 years. 46 years, wow. Tom. And you can tell by looking at me, I guess you could say.
Well, you look better than Steve.
Bar's not high.
2 times nothing is still nothing.
So has it always been that way? Have you always been a cut above the rest?
No, we've always tried to, and I really do mean that. We always have tried to be the best that we can be. And, our motto is we're always working at being the best that we can be. Mm-hmm. And I truly mean that. And everybody that I've got working with us, not for me, with me, believes that. And it's empathetic people doing passionate things. And it shows. It really does show.
Did you start off as a builder? Like, were you building homes, or how did you start in the business?
No, it's kind of a long story, Tom. But again, I'll get into it a little bit. But in high school, I remember I was in the shop class, the wood shop class, and the metal shop class, and I remember both teachers, 2 different teachers, asking when they had the parent teacher conferences, they wanted somebody to operate the tools when I was there. I had no idea that I was heading in that direction, but I was the student that both teachers asked me to be there. And, it was just, never had any idea I'd head into that field.
Right.
The bottom edge is my parents in high school said, really need to go to college, you really need to get a degree, you really need to do this and do that. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And went to Lycoming College with going for liberal arts, which, God only knows what I could do with that.
You kept you busy for 4 years in school.
No. I went for 3 years. And, and during the summer, they said, how about working construction, in hopes that would get me to enjoy school. Yeah. It backfired. I loved construction and decided to withdraw out of school. Mm-hmm. So after 3 years, I was a psychology major instead of liberal arts, which did help me in business. I dropped out. And I'm proud of dropping out? Absolutely not. Should I have stayed? Absolutely so. But the bottom edge is I think I've done okay.
Did it make your parents happy?
My parents were proud as peacocks. I mean that not when I did that,
right?
But at the end, near their end, they said, "God bless you for doing what you wanted to do." So it was a good thing.
Are you from Syracuse originally?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
What side of town did you grow up?
West End, West Hill. Okay. West Hill used to be wasn't a good school when I was there. Became a good school once I left.
Good job.
So. When we hear remodeling, rebuilding, what's the scope of what you actually do these days?
Mostly remodeling. And I've got to say remodeling is different than the new home construction. And please, not downplaying the new home construction. I'm past president of the New York State Home Builders, or Syracuse Home Builders and Remodelers. And it's a different carpenter. It's a carpenter that will put the kids on the bus. It's a carpenter that cleans up after himself. It's a carpenter that doesn't, you're living with the client. You truly are living with a client. We do anywhere from 450 to 600 jobs a year, and most of them remodels where we're living with the client.
Yeah.
So it's a finely tuned individual. That's all there is to it.
That's a lot. How many employees to accomplish that? That's a lot of projects.
We've got over 50 employees now.
Okay, and this is a year-round thing. This isn't like
we don't lay people off for lack of work. Good people want to work year-round, and we do all we can to.
And how do you find? So my dad was a skilled carpenter.
Okay, and he was a skilled carpenter. I can tell you stories, and things that were done improperly made him out of his mind. It made him nuts because there was a right way to do it, and then there was everyone else.
That's why I've got the white hair.
Is that what it is?
Exactly.
So I don't have any hair, but that's right. So how do you acquire? How do you collect or attract those kind of skilled craftsmen?
It's a constant proud to be on the lookout for good people. And I mean that. We always are advertising for good people. Because one of the concerns that I have of the industry is for every 5 people that are in the industry today, there will only be 2 to 3 to replace them. So we're in duress. We are in sincere duress about the future of this industry. So I'm working very tightly with Maggie Hartnett from our company and with Marcellus Schools and trying to make sure that we're hitting those people like myself that can turn to this way, and it's a good way to make a living.
I had a good friend of mine, a fellow was in my wedding, a very good friend that went to BOCES for construction. He figured it out and did it, was excellent at it. He's been doing that for 40 years, and he has a certain standard. And he learned the basics of the trade in high school, and then grew and works for some other folks and has been independent for a long, long time.
I was really fortunate. When I was working construction during the summers and so on, I had 2 just phenomenal carpenter teachers. And as they said, they didn't know as to whether or not to take me on and to teach. But once they saw my work ethic, it was just, they said, you're like a sponge.
Yeah.
We love having you here. In fact, the one carpenter, when he did stairs, he would do it behind closed locked doors because he didn't want to teach other people to do it because he was afraid that they were going to steal his talents.
Of course.
And once he got to know me, it took about a month. He said, Scott, come on back in, but lock the door behind you.
Someone's thinking about renovating their home. What would you suggest? What should they look at first?
Well, number one, and please, we're not the only good company in Central New York. There's a lot of good companies, but I mean this. It's really, really important. As my grammar school teachers used to say to me, Scott, do your homework. Client, do your homework. This industry is wrought with failure. Of the first 3 years of being business in this industry, 90% will fail. So therefore, anybody that's in business for 3 years, use extreme caution.
Sure.
Of the people that make it, 60% in the next 3 years will fail. It's the highest rate of business failure in any industry.
So
golf.
So go with someone that has a reputation and a resume. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yes, reputation, resume, and do your homework. Ask for other clients they've worked for. Ask to go see other jobs, and make sure it's not related to them.
It sounds like you have pretty high standards. If someone was thinking about doing something, or maybe wanted a conversation, they could reach out at McClurgteam.com.
Yes, please.
See the projects and see what you do.
Yes,
they
please.
could also call and chat with someone if they wanted to.
Yes, please.
673-2051. That's area code 315, Tom. 673-2051. Thank you very much, Scott.
Thank you very, very much.
You got it. That's going to wrap things up for us, Steve. And you can go home, do whatever you can do. Stay away from the power tools, if you don't mind. All right. The Local Show and Zoey Advertising and Tom and Steve all say God bless you and your families. Make sure you have some time to relax and exercise today and every day. Do it with a friend or family member. It'll keep your mind and body healthy. The Local Show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1 and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising.